Welcome back. You're watching These Making Headlines right here on Africa Live. Well, the continent is celebrating Africa Day. The day was officially marked on 25th May in 1963 when the Organization of African Unity, now known as the African Union, was formed. The day was to commemorate the fight against colonialism. This year, though, due to the coronavirus pandemic, the celebrations have been moved online under the theme Silencing the Guns. They include a special virtual broadcast featuring speeches by AU leaders Cyril Ramaphosa, Moussa Faki Mahamat, with a special guest appearance by former Zambian President Kenneth Kaunda. The African Union Commission has also organized an Africa Day benefit concert. The 2-hour event will feature some of Africa's big names in music. Well, for more on this, we are now joined by Dr. Jume Faye, a researcher on political development strategies and also the Secretary General of the IPIC, Pan-African Federalist Movement. He joins us via Skype. Now, thank you so much for joining us from New Jersey. The current international order has changed a lot from the one of the 1960s when Pan-Africanism was being born. How is Africa adopting?
Thank you very much for having me on your show. This is really an honor to be celebrating the 57th anniversary of the birth of the Organization for African Unity. The situation has changed in the world since the independencies. At that time, there was a fight for independence, at least regaining part of the sovereignty of our state. Today, we have come to realize that since then, that yes, we did get some independence, some portions of our independence, but we're still missing some portions of our sovereignty. The limits of our state, particularly right now with the COVID-19, we could see it easily. And the restlessness of the youth in terms of finding more opportunities are all indicators that there is something missing. And this is where the Pan-African Federalism movement has moved the orientation of the Pan-Africanism toward African unity, the unification of our state, to give to our youth more opportunities to be able to protect Africans from wherever they are in the world. So Pan-Africanism is alive and actually has a mission for this generation.
Well, currently we have a surge of nationalistic sentiments across the globe. How does Pan-Africanism deal with that, considering some of the proponents of these ideologies are very powerful global players?
Pan-Africanism is about solidarity among African people, consciousness of the fact that we need to be together in order to face all the difficulties that we are confronted with. So this nationalism is due to the fact that today the world is globalized, and the jobs in some of these countries are being exported to other countries. So people feel like it's because of others coming into their countries that these jobs are stolen, which is not the case. But the answer for us Africans is to not need to go in those countries, and that we have so much resources on our continent that a unification will indeed help us be able to have access to these resources, have the means to exploit them, and be able to provide jobs and anything that any African will need. So yes, this must be a call for us, a call for action, a call for awareness, heightened awareness in terms of the limits of our state, which are forcing us to actually resent or feel the power of these nationalists in these different countries. But unity should be the answer, in our opinion, in the Pan-African Federalist movement. If we unite, then we will be a power. And even the repercussion of all these nationalism, we will have a power that protects Africans from wherever they are in the world. So people will think twice before they do anything to Africans, because as Americans are not touched in anywhere where they are, Africans will feel protected by that government that will be able to talk to this government in equal terms. But
Doc,
our state as standalone unit cannot.
yeah, Doctor, how feasible is the push for the unification of Africa? Because, I mean, in a decade of considering it's been a campaign that is yet to bear fruit 50 years later after it was conceptualized.
You know, my sister, I would just say that when you are boiling, when you are trying to cook some food, in the beginning, you cannot expect it to be hot. When Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta, Bartolome Boganda, Lumumba, and others, and Sheikh Anta Diop, Ban Barka, came on board, you know, the African people were not aware of the limits of their states. So the mobilization for unity, even in East Africa, it was something, but it was not that clear in their mind what would this unity bring. And they did not know the limits of the states. Today, the African youth, the Pan-African Federalist movement, is aware that an overwhelming majority of the African youth is ready for unity. And this youth is on their power, their energy, that we are going to ride to go to a united African state before the end of this decade. And we are convinced the youth is only waiting for a leadership. And the Pan-African Federalist Movement is providing them with a leadership that will bring Africa to a united African state that will be able to sit at the Security Council of the United Nations with a veto power.
Thank you.